Hello, good morning. Now, your left classes are going to be started from your first chapter, Resource and Development. Your left topic is Conservation of Resources. You will study 5 conservation of resources are necessary. Now you should know that resources are very important for all types of developmental activities. Now, due to indiscriminate use of resources, means careless use of resources and over-utilization of resources, you find many types of problems, socio and economic problems. That is why conservation of resources are must. Very important. A large number of resources are limited, cannot be used again and again. That is why conservation of resources is a necessary task. Because all economic activities depend on our resources. So you will have to conserve them. If you are using resources, overusing resources indiscriminately, carelessly, you will find many types of problems, socio-economic problems, social-based and economic-based problems. That's why it has been concern of Indian thinkers and politicians. Why should we conserve our resources? That has been concern of our thinkers and politicians. For example, your Mahatma Gandhi always said that resources are enough for everybody's use, for everybody's need, but not for anybody's greed. Mahatma Gandhi always said that resources are enough for everybody's need, but not for anybody's greed. It means you will have to conserve resources. It means Mahatma Gandhi thought that selfish nature of human beings and exploitative nature of your large machine and tools means technology are responsible for depletion of resources, damage to resource on global level, international level. Resources are being damaged due to selfish nature of individuals and exploitative nature of large machine and tools, technology. So conservation is must. Mahatma Gandhi was always against mass production. Means production by machine and tools, he was against that. He was in favor of production by the masses, means by hands. Only then you can make sustainable development. You can conserve resources also and use resources also for fulfilling your needs, according to Gandhiji. According to Gandhiji, selfish nature of human beings and exploitative nature of machine and tools are responsible for damage to resource on global scale, on international level. He was against mass production, means production by machine and tools. He was against that. He was in favor of production by the masses, means production by hands, means each and every person getting more and more employment and conservation for the conservation of resources and sustainable development. Now, next topic. Your next major topic is land resource. You should know that land is a natural resource and a renewable resource. But problem is that it is limited. You should always understand that Land is natural resource and a renewable resource, but it is limited. That's why you will have to use the available land carefully, sensibly. Only then you will continue to use your land for different purposes. You should know that land has great importance because we are living on the land. All economic activities like your agriculture, industry, transport, communication, all are depending on the land. Your plant lives, animal lives, human lives, all are depending on the land. So land is a great resource, very important resource. Because we all are living on the land. We are fulfilling all our economic activities from land. Most of economic activities, like agriculture, industry, transport, communication, our human life, plant life, animal life, all are depending on land. Because land is a natural resource and a renewable resource. But problem is that it is limited. So you will have to use your available land in system on sustainable level. Now, you should know that 95% of our needs are fulfilled from land. For housing, clothing, fooding coming from land. Land is very important. Now, next topic is land utilization. Then after pattern, land utilization pattern. Land utilization. We are using land for fulfilling different purposes depending on physical factors and human factors. Utilization of land. You should always keep in mind that land available at any place cannot be used for all purposes. Utilization of land depends on different purposes. For example, desert land cannot be used for agriculture and production of fruits. They can be used for other purposes. Now, coastal area land cannot be used for all purposes. Only mangrove trees grow there, coconuts, etc. So, land in the pattern depends on physical factor, means natural factor and human factors. Physical factors are topography, relief feature, many different types of land. Example, mountain for different use, plateau different use, coastal area different use, island, land of high tide different use. Yani topography or relief feature. Second is climatic condition. Now you can grow apples, different type of climate necessary there. Now if you want to grow mango, different type of climate condition. Then after soil. So there are three physical factors on which land utilization pattern depends. First is topography or relief feature, many different types of land, different types of relief feature. Second is climatic condition of that area, and third is soil of that area. There are three physical factors on which land use depends. Land utilization depends. First is topography or relief feature, many different types of land. Then after climatic condition of that area and soil of that area. And there are three human factors. First is your technological development. Your technology is machine and tools to use your land. Then after density of population of that area, and tradition and culture of that area. It depends on tradition and custom, tradition and culture of the people of that area. So there are three human on which your land utilization pattern depends. First is technology, second is density of population, and third is tradition and culture of that area. There are three human factors on which land utilization pattern depends. First is now density of population. Density of population. Second is technology, means your machine and tools. And third is tradition and custom of people living in that area. According to all these factors, you can use your land for different purposes. You should know that in India, the land use pattern of 93% land is available. Means you already know that India had total area 3.28 million square kilometer, means about 33 lakh square kilometer. But that data for land use pattern is available of only 93%. Means 7% area is occupied by either China or Pakistan. 7% area, the data of 7% area is not available because that is occupied by either China or Pakistan. Now you should know that you have different type of land, different type of topography or daily feature. For example, mountains, plateau, plains, islands, etc. So India has all main types of physical feature, all main types of topography or daily feature like mountain, plateau, plains, island, etc. First of all, plain area. Plain area. India has about 43% plain area. Most of India is plain area, level plain area. It is specialized in agriculture and industry. Plain area is very important for development of industries and agriculture. India has 43% plain area. Most of India plain area 43%. In plain area, industries and agriculture are very important to develop. Now, mountainous area. Mountain area. India has 30% mountain area. India has 30% mountain and hilly area. This mountain and hilly area can also be used for different purposes. Example, for development of tourism industry, for ecological aspect and balance, and for water resource. Due to perennial river, permanent river found in hill area, mountainous area. So mountainous areas in India, total mountainous areas are about 30%. Mountainous areas are specialized in water resource. Due to permanent rivers flowing there, perennial rivers flowing there, and for ecological balance, ecological aspect, mountainous area very important. And third is for tourism. For the attraction of tourism, your mountain area is very important. So mountainous area, hilly areas are very important for development of tourism. For ecological aspect, due to natural vegetation, grasses, etc. And third is rich water resource due to permanent rivers found there. Now, plateau area. India has about 27% plateau area. India has about 27% plateau area. Example, your Deccan Plateau, Deccan Peninsula in the south. Plateau areas are also very important for forest resource, for all type, most of minerals. Your plateau areas are 27% in India. In India, total plateau area 27%. Plateau areas are specialized in most of minerals and forest resource. Plateau areas are rich in forest resource and most of minerals. Now, in India, according to different factors, physical factors, human factors, your land, total land is used for different purposes. First of all, net sown area means net arable area, means net agricultural area. India has more than 43% net sown area, net agricultural area, arable area, where agriculture is done permanently. India is one of the richest countries in the world in having such a large arable area, such a large agriculture area. About more than 43% area in India is a net sown area, means net agriculture area, where agriculture is done permanently. If you mix this net sown area with fallow land, parti bhumi, parti zameen, fallow land, now total agriculture area in India is more than 54%. More than half of land of India is under agriculture. If net sown area is mixed with now fallow land means that land where agriculture is not permanent, agriculture is not done permanent. Agriculture is not done permanently. That area is called fallow land, parti bhumi. If you include fallow land also with net sown area, net agriculture area, that is more than 54%, one of the largest in the world. But net sown area is changing from state to state according to topography, wind, climate, etc. Physical human factor. So net sown area in some states, net sown area is more than 80%, like Punjab, Haryana. In some states, net sown area is more than 80%, like Punjab, Haryana. But in some states, net sown area is very less than 10%. In some states, net sown area is very limited, less than 10%, like Arunachal Pradesh, Andaman and Nicobar, Manipur and Mizoram. Net sown area is very less. In Manipur, Mizoram, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Arunachal Pradesh, very limited, only less than 10% net sown area. In Arunachal Pradesh, Andaman and Nicobar, now Manipur and Mizoram, very less net sown area. Now you should understand gross sown area also, means gross agriculture area also, means net sown area plus that area where more than one crops are produced per year, that entire area is called gross sown area, means gross agriculture area. Again, what is gross agriculture area? Gross arable area, gross sown area. What is gross sown area? Means net sown area plus all those areas where more than one crops are produced per year. That is called gross sown area. After that, forested land, natural vegetation land. India is very poor. Scientific norm says that for any country there must be at least 1/3 area under forest of total geographical area. Your scientific norms are saying that for any country there must be 1/3 area under the forest of total geographical area, but India has about 22% forest. But India has about 22% forest. That is less than your scientific norm. But you should always keep in mind that forest is very important for ecological balance, for giving living to your forest people, tribal people. Forest is very important for ecological balance. Forest is very important for giving livelihood to your forest living people, tribal people. Now, Then after, you should understand fallow land, where agriculture is not permanent. Agriculture is not done permanently. India has about 11% fallow land. India has about 11% fallow land, where agriculture is done with gap, not permanently. Why? Why? India is a very large country in population. We need more and more agricultural material, but India has about 11% fallow land. Why? Why is that fallow land is found where agriculture is not permanent? This is because that land, fallow land, is either poor quality land, or if agriculture is done, now production cost will be very high, so that land is fallow land. In India, fallow land is found because that area is either poor quality land or production cost, agriculture cost is very high. So India has fallow land about 11%. Now data can change according to publication of books. Current data may vary and change. 11% fallow land is found in India. There are two types of fallow land: current fallow land and other fallow land. 7% current fallow land. Fallow land two types: current fallow land and other fallow land. 7% current fallow land or 4% left part, 4% other fallow land. In current fallow land, agriculture is not done for one agriculture season or less than one agriculture season. But in other fallow land, agriculture is not done from 1 year to 5 years. In other fallow land, agriculture is not done from 1 year to 5 years. They are called other fallow land. But current fallow land, agriculture is not done for the one agriculture season or less than one agriculture season. Okay? Then after, you should understand barren and wasteland, like rocky land, mountainous land, desert or arid land, those lands which are covered by desert area, means arid area or hilly mountainous area. In that area is not available for agriculture. That is called barren and wasteland. India has about 6% barren and wasteland, which is not available for agriculture. About 6% land of India is barren and wasteland, where agriculture, which is not available for agriculture, like rocky or hilly lands, desert or arid lands. They are covered by the not available for agriculture. Then after, about 4% land of India is agriculture land, not unfit land, due to pollution, degradation. 4% land is agriculture land, but waste land, barren and waste land. 4% land of India is agricultural waste land, means they were suitable for agriculture, but due to human activities, over-utilization and degradation, 4% land again. Next, about 7.8%, 9% land. About 8% land of India is again not available for agriculture, because those lands are either under your railways, roadways, buildings, parks, etc. Because they are also necessary. Those activities are also very important. How can you use those lands? They are not available for agriculture. Means land not available for agriculture, about 8%, 7.9%. And that land not available for agriculture will increase more and more in future according to advancement in your population, increase in your population. You will need more and more means transport, more and more playgrounds, burial grounds. So some lands are suitable for agriculture, but at present not available. There are railway, buildings, other transports, playgrounds, parks, burial grounds, etc. Now, pasture land, this grazing land. India is extremely poor, very poor country. One of the poorest countries in the world. In China, about 68% area is under pasture land, grazing land. But India has about 3.4% land under pasture land. But India is, you should not forget that India is the largest country in rearing now cows, buffaloes, etc. Why? Because rearing of those animals are depending on your agriculture farm waste materials. You are depending on farmland waste material. This grazing land is very limited, about 3.4%. But you are the largest rearer animal in the world. Then after miscellaneous tree crops, you should know that in the production of about dozens of fruits, India has top position. But how much land is under miscellaneous tree crops? Means plantation agriculture, about 1%. About 1% land of India is under miscellaneous tree crops, means fruit orchards. That is also very, very less.